Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cryptocurrent. Your host here, Richard Carthon, and today got a very special guest. He has been in the startup space for a very long time, has worked on some really cool projects talking about Agile, and has a 3X founder, and has, just such a unique background that I'm really excited to dive more into. But we have Peter Saddington. How are you doing today?
Man, Richard, it is great to be on your show with you. And man, I'm glad to be able to tell our story. So thanks very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Well, before we dive in, how about you give us a little bit of background on yourself?
Awesome. Well, the TLDR, the took too long, did not read version of it is that I am a 20-year plus startup entrepreneur. Not all of my startups have succeeded, but I've been lucky with a couple acquisitions from bootstrap companies to venture funded companies. Now, when it comes to the context of what we're talking about here, I've been in the cryptocurrency space for nearly a decade, first getting in 2011, and obviously getting my 15 minutes of fame in 2017 for buying the first Lamborghini Huracan with Bitcoin. And so I've built several cryptocurrency applications, and I'm currently involved in a wonderful cryptocurrency project right now called Emrit CoolSpot, which I'm sure we'll be talking about a little bit later. But that's just the quick gist of it.
For sure. And thank you for that intro. One of the things that I kind of want to dive into is, you've been in the space for over a decade now. What was your first intro into it? Like, how did you even learn about cryptocurrency in the first place?
Great question. So it's so easy to tell because it's burned into my mind. In October of 2011, I read an Ars Technica article that talked about this technology stack that had lost 90% of its value. So for me, as an entrepreneur and developer and engineer, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. How can Java or C# or .NET or PHP, how could this thing lose value? And so in October till November, I spent almost 30 days just eating up all the research I could on Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain. And in November of 2011, I purchased my first Bitcoin at $1.52. And ever since then, I know I'm not going to lie. I lost a couple here and there because back in those days, we were still writing our addresses down on sticky notes and these types of things. And I was mining off a Dell XPS laptop. Those were the good days of mining. I mean, you could actually mine a whole Bitcoin from those things. But from 2016, 17, 18, and that's when I started creating content around cryptocurrency, creating several YouTube channels around it and building some crypto startups as well.
For sure. Oh my gosh, man. And just from that journey, just like you said, getting in as early as when it was, $1 all the way till, now creating content along the way. I think the importance of being able to educate others and the importance of, setting some foundation so people can understand so that we can get towards mass adoption to get more and more people into the space. But can you talk to us really quickly on, when you started creating those YouTube channels and putting out the content, like what were some of the big lessons and takeaways from that?
Great question. And so my first cryptocurrency channel I started in 2016. It was called Bite Size Bitcoin. And the slogan was, hey, this is Bite Size Bitcoin, and we're here to discuss and demystify Bitcoin and blockchain technologies. That was kind of my motto and introduction back then. But the whole idea was to educate, just as you said, Richard, to educate the world about this new nascent technology that I was so excited about. And there was a lot of lessons that I learned. The first off is that the cryptocurrency community overall is relatively skeptical about anything that's coming out. And certainly I had to fight that battle. But the second thing that I learned, and I think this is one of the most important things, it's close to my heart here, is that the cryptocurrency community is awesome. They're one of the most supportive communities out there. They love helping each other out. Now, there's some skepticism, and there's the trolls and those types of individuals that don't like when new incumbents come around. And especially there's a lot of individuals who have a particular leaning or bias to certain coins. Yes. I remember in 2017 when we had the fork of Bitcoin Cash, I remember the Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Wars and Roger Ver and all that stuff. But overall, I just loved, and still love, certainly, the cryptocurrency community. It's one of the best communities in the world.
I agree. And people are very open and receptive to sharing knowledge and information. And yes, you're going to have some people, kind of like you said, that are very fervent about certain coins and ideologies about stuff, but they're still willing to have a very open and candid conversation and can help you get up to speed very quickly. So, you kind of elevate, you're going through the years in the crypto space, and then all of a sudden you come up with an idea, which is Emrit. Can you kind of speak to us about what Emrit is, and even speak to us a little bit about CoolSpot as well?
Awesome. Well, Emrit first began last year in late 2019 when our founder, Adi, who was 11 years old at the time, had gotten deep into helium. He used to love riding his scooter downtown Atlanta to go to golf practice. And he had this idea. It was just amazing, Richard. He had this idea, even as an 11-year-old, that the entire world should be interconnected and that he should have the ability to find these scooters on the blockchain and find these scooters within some sort of network. And so I first met with the team, with Team Emrit in early of February of this year. And for me at the time, I was actually looking to become a venture capitalist, and I had been blessed by a couple acquisitions, and I was thinking that, it's not too hard, but certainly being a startup entrepreneur, you're looking at 20-hour days, and I was hoping that I could get a little bit of a respite, and instead of grinding 20-hour days, I could sit back in front of my computer here and field inquiries and great entrepreneurs with great ideas and shoot them over money and deploy capital into their startups. But I was so intrigued. It just captivated my heart, Richard, that this young man, this 11-year-old boy at the time, had said, "Hey, there's an opportunity here to create an entire wireless network for IoT." And from February to now, we have been grinding in the shade, in the shadows, building out our alpha testers, our beta testers, validating our hypotheses around our business model, our vision, and our strategy. And obviously, in just the last month, I've been activated. So I could finally go online and tell everyone about this project that we've been working on. And so we developed essentially a product called CoolSpot, which powers the Helium wireless network. And we love Helium so much, we figured that their infrastructure and their people's network that's already spread out across the world was a great foundation for us to help not only grow the IoT network of the future, but begin sponsoring and funding and helping other entrepreneurs who want to build within this ecosystem. So what ended up happening, long story short, is from my journey from wanting to be a venture capitalist, I got to do both. I got to not only become a VC with Emrit and help deploy capital into entrepreneurs who want to build on the IoT network, but I also get to build the product itself. And so we're giving away our product for free in the world's first #hardware drop, never seen before.
Okay.
And so if you go to emirate.io, you can sign up and get a free hardware hotspot miner from us. We'll ship it directly to you, and you can begin helping us grow the IoT network, and we'll pay you about $25 a month for doing so. And so super excited about this idea. No one's ever done it, as your crowd well knows, about airdrops, which in many ways are sometimes vaporware-ish, if I can say that nicely. But we wanted to go bigger. We wanted to get cryptocurrency into people's hands and lower that barrier to entry. This was something I've been kind of grinding on and thinking about for a long time, is how could I not only educate people in cryptocurrency and get them in the game, but what's a barrier to entry that's even larger than just looking at tutorials and guides on crypto and blockchain and mining and exchanges? Why not give people the hardware themselves and ship it to them directly for free? And then they begin mining cryptocurrency, and they have a digital wallet, and they can begin that way. And so far, from February to October now, our alpha and beta testers have proven that this model works exceptionally well. And it's pretty simple. The reason is because our value proposition is easy. It's free. We're going to give you a free hardware hotspot miner on us so that you can participate in growing the global wireless network.
That is extremely unique, just like you said. And I want to reemphasize to everyone listening, especially if you aren't as familiar with the mining aspect of cryptocurrency. They are literally giving you a way to start mining, which, first of all, just just to give a brief range of some of the competitors that are out there, like if you were to try to go set up a mining operation right now, like what are some rough costs you'd probably have to implement just to get started?
Oh golly! Back if you look back in my history, you can see I was actually mining cryptocurrency at scale. We had an office over not too far from us, an hour or so away in Kennesaw, Georgia. We were mining cryptocurrency, and to scale that cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars. One of the biggest things and one of the biggest issues with mining cryptocurrency is its cost. It's cost prohibitive. It's too expensive in many ways, from an electricity cost, from a cooling cost, and the value that you get out of mining is not worth the cost you're putting in. And so that was one of the things that we noodled on for months. How can we get miners into people's hands so they could mine cryptocurrency at less than $1 a month? And so the value proposition is pretty easy. Not only are we giving you a hardware miner for free, and we're eating the costs of manufacturing, shipping, customer support, software, our platform. Like, we're giving you all of this, but we're also going to pay you about $25 a month. And you can get into cryptocurrency, and the only cost to you is about the cost of an LED light bulb, which is about 37 cents per month. And so at the cost of less than $1, you can be making $25 a month and helping participate in growing the global IoT network of the future. It's really, really cool.
It is. It's so unique, and like it's very powerful. And I can definitely see how the IoT project is going to work just by being able to connect to all these different, Wi-Fi networks and what have you. So like, what is the ultimate goal? Of course, this is like phase one, proof of concept, getting people and everyone to use it. But like, walk me through that roadmap. I know this isn't your first rodeo. Talk me through that.
Well, obviously, we want to grow the network globally, and we're really blessed to have so many self-starter initiative entrepreneurs who want to help us become RDPs, or regional deployment partners. And this is the best part. If you want to become an RDP, we will ship you hundreds of our hardware miners for free.
Wow.
Just because you have the assertiveness and backbone to hustle and be the boots on the ground to scale this. And so that's where we're starting. We're starting with scaling out the network, paying people to participate, and grow the network larger. But where we really want to go, and this is really exciting because this speaks to the world that I wanted to be in venture capital, is we're looking for entrepreneurs coming into Q1 of 2021. Entrepreneurs who we will literally fund. We will give you money to help you build your business on IoT, on the IoT network, on Helium. And so not only can you help provide network coverage for the world, for the IoT, and having everything be able to connect to it, but we will fund your idea. And so this is just something that I'm extremely excited about, because now I can have people come to us and say, hey, I want to build this type of sensor. I want to build this type of technology. I want to build this type of wrapped, blockchain. I want to integrate with what you guys are doing here. We'll say, yeah, do it. Give us a great business plan. Go through an interview process like a pitch, like any other type of startup. And if you're selected, we'll send you money. We'll fund your idea so that you can be a successful entrepreneur in this ecosystem. And that's really where we're driving to, is to create an entire ecosystem of entrepreneurs who will build on the IoT network of the future, but also be able to create a wonderful, wonderful life for themselves. Not working for the man anymore, these types of things.
And that is such a unique way of looking at how to build on this. You're blending both the crypto and the blockchain type of ecosystem, even like all of fintech, right? When you talk about IoT, when you talk about creating job opportunities, creating ways that people can communicate, have technologies that like y'all are doing it. And like, that is so like exceptional. And again, I know this just goes to speak to, your years and years of Agile approaches, and just seeing like, how do you adapt and move quickly and having things work together and start building bridges instead of having to connect all these different islands, because it's just so important to just be a mass connector of things, and then to support whoever's going to come and use your to build on Helium. Why wouldn't you give them the support, the financial being to skyrocket and have all this growth happen that much faster? So that, like, again, I think your approach is extremely unique, and it makes a ton of sense coming from a person who's, again, exited 3 companies. Like that makes a ton of sense to me.
I've been very blessed, and even though I can easily say that's something certainly close to my heart, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up one of the biggest reasons why we've built this company and built this type of business model. And the reason is because 90% of the entire world is 90%, not us Americans, not us, Americans and Canadians and, the first world countries of Europe, but 90% of the rest of the world are looking for other opportunities to make extra income. And 50% of the world can literally have their lives changed if we give them our hardware and they can make now 25 USD. We're talking about people in emerging countries, third world countries. If we drop our hardware in there, plug it in, connect it to your Wi-Fi and your mobile device, and now you can self-fund your ideas. To us Americans, $25 a month, whatever. But 25 USD to emerging countries, that's life-changing money. And so for me, I see this as an opportunity to maybe create my magnum opus, where I literally can be part of fundamentally changing not only the world, which is great, but more importantly, individuals' lives. And so that's just something that is just our bread and butter through and through. It's kind of the soul of our company, is that we are here to not only grow and expand cryptocurrency, but to grow personal freedom and autonomy and mastery over self, and being able to have your own destiny, because now you have a hardware device that literally mints money for you that you can leverage to fund your own ideas. And so this is something that I feel is unprecedented. I mean, how many companies do you know are handing out hardware for free?
Exactly. I mean, no, I don't. There's a couple that have like suggested it, and like there's also like a cap of like when they want to do it, but like the fact that you're this full gusto of like, hey, let's go do this, extremely unique and really awesome. So again, I really appreciate you coming and like sharing that, and for everyone listening, make sure that you go and capitalize on this, and we'll definitely dive into this a little bit more. But I kind of want to shift gears just for a second and actually ask, on that subject of shifting gears, a quick fun question. So for everyone that's listening, again, we do have YouTube. We are starting to record our episodes, and if for everyone that's watching, you can already see this. Peter has a really cool background and has all kinds of cool things in his background, and told me before the show started that you actually used to do racing, with race Lamborghinis and whatnot. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that?
Well, I like to say that racing is a genetic disorder. My grandparents raced, my grandfather raced, my dad raced illegally over in Korea. I decided to race legally here over in America. And so we just have always loved, as a family, cars and automotive motorsports. And so for me, that's just, for me, you see, I'm living in what I consider my place of peace. This is my place where I have a screen here and I have a screen here. I got my cameras up and I can write code, build awesome, epic startups. But also, once I'm done, I can turn all this off, turn around and wrench on race cars, supercars, and obviously go-karts, which is what you're seeing right now. And so one of my other big time passions, if for those who can't clearly see this by now, is automotive motorsport and racing. And so right now I'm supporting my son, who's 7 years old, who is literally crushing the track. And it makes my heart so full. I was there we were talking about this right before we jumped on this podcast, but I had to leave the track a little bit early with my son today so I could make this podcast. And so that's what we were doing for the first 5 hours of the morning, is giving him more seat time because we're prepping for a race next weekend. And so I love speed, I love code, and I love helping people level up, is one way I love saying it.
That's awesome. And the reason I wanted to give you that moment to talk about that, again, a lot of people that are listening, you're learning and you're educating yourself in cryptocurrency and blockchain, but it's very important to still have passions and side passions to continually be learning and have other ways to escape and to let your mind know about other ways that you can be elevating. And so kind of like one of the things I want to kind of transition back into the crypto and blockchain space is that I feel that we are moving forward and progressing a lot faster because of what has happened with COVID, right? A giant light is being shown in the crypto and blockchain space with all the opportunities and just with the amount of debt that is now entering the United States with all this money that we're printing and everything else going on. What are some things in the crypto blockchain space that you think people should be aware of that is definitely on the way with everything that's been going on?
Oh man, this is the best time to get into cryptocurrency. And if I can shill a little bit, obviously emirate.io and my company and CoolSpot, our free hardware drop a little bit. We felt that actually COVID was a boon for us. And I know, and I want to be empathetic and sympathetic to many of your listeners who might have been on the other side of that, where they might have lost their jobs and these types of things. But for us, this has been a wonderful, wonderful time that has allowed us to hone in and focus and build our product. And not only that, is because of this, because of all of our partners and vendors worldwide, it's forced us to go online. It's forced us to figure out how to connect with people online and create communities globally. And so what's great about the cryptocurrency space, not only is it number one, first, a global community, but number two, we're already digital Netsians. And so for us, that the communicating online and communicating through communities online is already natural for us. And so we found this to be a boon because all of our consumers, all of our users, and our future market that we want to tap into are already online. And so we found this to be an awesome opportunity to launch this product, not only because our digital Netsians are already online and it makes sense to connect with them that way, but number two, we have received tons of feedback, Richard, on how this could literally help change people's lives who've lost their jobs, because it can be a passive income mechanism for them when they're looking for another job. And so we have several regional deployment partners, or RDPs, that have switched gears. They lost their job earlier this year. They came on as an alpha or beta tester, and now we've deployed hundreds of our CoolSpots to them, and they're making a significant income, in some cases better than what they were earning before. And so I just feel a lot of joy and a lot of satisfaction of being able to say that we have helped people shift not only their careers, but help them move into a place where they can have passive income that allows them to pursue their passions, whether it's racing or whether it's something else. This is just, we now live in a world where you can have passive income because of this free hardware drop. And the more that you scale out the hardware to your friends, your neighbors, your colleagues, your coworkers, your network, you can receive a percentage of the mining rewards for passing it out. And so you can receive a pretty nice income from this. And obviously, the more that you grow and scale, the more you can earn. And so COVID, I don't look at COVID as a negative for those who are assertive and initiative and, people who are open-minded to thinking about doing things differently. We hope to be able to serve the underserved there and serve those who have lost their jobs by giving them free hardware and opening up that window in their mind to say, hey, maybe it's time to quit the 9 to 5. Maybe it's time to get away from the gray cubicles. And maybe it's time for me to be my own boss. And so we want to provide that opportunity for those who want to take our hardware, scale it, and grow your own business from it.
That's awesome. And, I really think that's amazing, especially with everything that's going on right now. Like you said, you're empowering people. And at the end of the day, this podcast with Cryptocurrency all about is empowerment, providing opportunities for I want to connect with someone with everything that Peter said today, right? Everything that you said today. I hope that you take one nugget here and you're like, wow, I think it's cool that I could get 1, free hardware where I can start mining, 2, make $25 a month, and then 3, I could then sell it to other people and make more money that way. Or you're saying, if I come up with my own idea to build a cool application on top of this network, that I could potentially get funding for that as well. It's like all the entrepreneurial spirits there. It's like, you're triggering something for action. Ultimately, when people listen, I want something to stir them to act on something. So I think there's just so many actionable things that you've been able to share with us today and that Emirate's been building. And there's so many cool things. I definitely want everyone listening to make sure that you go and spend time learning more. And on that note, what are some ways that people can go learn more information, or if they want to get started with working with this, what are those next steps look like?
Awesome. Well, certainly go to emirate.io, emirate.io, and you can immediately sign up and get a free #hardware drop. But not only that, I would invite all of your listeners and watchers to read our business plan. One of the things that we want to do fundamentally different from all of the other cryptocurrency, or just forget cryptocurrency, one of what other projects do in the world is we want to be radically transparent about what we're doing. As you well know, Richard, when it comes to the cryptocurrency world specific, there's a lot of opacity, right?
Yes.
There's not a lot of insight to what people are doing. And obviously maybe that's because they want to have a shroud of secrecy because maybe they're more scammy or anything like that. But for us, we wanted to be radically transparent about what we're going to be building, what we're going to be doing. So check out emirate.io and you can sign up there. It's an Agile project, which means it's not a perfect website. Our dashboard behind that isn't super beautiful, but it was just good enough to ship. And that actually is part of our radical transparency, that we didn't want to wait another 3 months for a perfectly beautiful website. We wanted to get this thing out the door, and we wanted to ship this product to the world as fast as possible, as long as we had the ability to scale and get people in, and number two, be able to support them effectively. And so there's a kind of an internal slogan that we have here, is that we are providing the world with the tools, right, the hardware, the technology, right, the software to be able to grow your own business. And number three, we are here to resource you, to equip you, to empower you to become your own boss and build your own business. So check out emirate.io, you'll be able to read our business case as well as our RDP, our regional deployment program, if you're interested in growing your own business. And obviously, just as you said, Richard, if you are one of those astute and assertive and initiative individuals who want to go bigger, man, we will pay you. We will fund you. We will support you in your efforts to live and grow a dream that you might have.
Awesome. And on that, one of the things I like to ask all of our speakers before they leave is a final thought. And I know that you have a plethora of knowledge and have a ton of experience in all types of fashions and forms. But, what is something today that you want to leave with everyone listening here today?
Oh, it's very easy. Execute. Execute, execute, execute. It is so easy for any type of individual to have a great idea. Frankly, great ideas are a dime a dozen. And this is one of the reasons why we don't mind, in terms of our business plan, of being radically transparent and telling everyone our plans. The reason is because we know that 999 out of 1,000 people ain't going to take anything that we've written and actually copy it and try to do it. Most people are in analysis paralysis. Most people are stuck from maybe their own mental models or worldviews. Maybe they might have a mental model of failure, or that I can't do this. No. For everyone out there, the fastest way and the best way to do anything is to just execute. We learn by doing. We never learn by planning. None of your listeners, none of your watchers out there had learned how to ride a bike by reading a book. You learned how to ride a bike by getting on the bike and going. And so This is really at the heart of Agile. This is really at the heart of Scrum, two frameworks that I talk a lot about and I train on 2-day public courses. But for everyone out there, stop thinking. I know you can think of a plan, you can think of a lightweight framework for how you want to execute your plan. That's great. But it is the ones who execute that are the ones who win. It's the ones who execute are the ones who learn the most. And the more that you execute, the more you learn, the more informed decisions you can make for your future. So that would be my last thing. Execute, guys. Execute to learn. That's the best way to live.
Absolutely amazing. I think that is a wonderful way to end this episode and wrap this and put a nice bow on it. Just like you said, transparency. You can put steps 1 through 10 out there, but just like you said, doesn't necessarily mean that someone's going to go and do them. And if you just go and act, and now is the time of action, just go out there and crush it. So again, Peter, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for all the knowledge you've dropped with us today. And for everyone listening, stay cryptocurrent. Stay cryptocurrent. Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening to another episode of Cryptocurrent. For more information on this episode and all of our episodes, please visit us at www.crypto-current.co. Stay up to date with the latest news in cryptocurrency. You'll receive daily emails Monday through Friday that are personalized and curated content specific to you and your interest, powered by artificial intelligence. Are you an accredited investor looking to invest in cryptocurrency? Crescent City Capital can help. Go to crescentcitycapital.com for more information. If you're finding value in our content, please take 5 minutes to leave a 5-star review and a great comment. Also, please make sure to share this podcast with others. Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the quality of this podcast. I can only thank my amazing producer, Andrew DeRitter, with DeRitter Productions, who has put this together. If you have any podcast, visual, or video needs, please go to DeRitterProductions.com. That's DERITTER Productions.com.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Cryptocurrent with Richard Carthon. We'll be back with more exciting developments from the world of blockchain and cryptocurrency next week. But until then, stay cryptocurrent.
Please use available exits now.